Good morning, fellas. This is David with the Lawn Ranger. I'm going to take a minute to make a video on this rainy Wednesday again in Georgia. Seems like I cannot get a week that is not raining. I can't get a full weekend so far since I can't even remember when. But I want to take this minute to make a quick video about some tips on how you can do your yards between 10 and 12 a day by yourself every day. Just some tips that would help you speed up your production, maybe get a little bit more efficient, and ultimately make more money, more profit. So I'm going to go over a couple of those things. Now, I do have somebody who works for me a couple days a week, so that helps me out on my heavy load days, usually on the days where I have large properties to mow, where we can have 2 or 3 mowers go in at one time. So, but on lawns that are smaller or whatever, normal size yards, I can do those by myself. I made a quick list of things that I can do that maybe make you take them however you want to. The first thing to do is to relax. When you're on a property, or if you get your day started and you're in such a hurry because you know you have so many things to do and you feel like, I don't know how I'm going to get them done. When you get in a hurry, that's where things start to go wrong. Whether you injure yourself, which I've done that before by getting in a hurry, you damage your equipment, damage the yard, something is going to go wrong. So the first step is to relax. Bottom line is the yard is not going to go anywhere. And regardless of how your customer thinks, they'll live if the yard doesn't get cut on that day. I know that we have a lot of customers that will think that their life can't go on unless their yard is cut on Tuesday mornings at 9 o'clock. So first thing is to relax. The second thing is to schedule ahead of time what you're going to do. I like to schedule things on Sunday night before the week starts so that I know each day what's going to happen. And I know by past experience of my route and where I'm going, and also how long those yards take me. So I make that schedule out, and here's a tip that will save you time. Well, however your schedule is going, start at the furthest yard away from your shop or where your home or wherever your base is. Start at the furthest one away and work your way back. Sooner or later on those days, something's going to happen, and whether you break a belt or you have mower failure or you get sick or you get hurt or whatever scenario could come up. If you started that furthest one away and you work your way back, when you have to go catch up the next day, you don't have to go cross all those yards again and go so far away. So start at the furthest one away and work your way home. The next thing you do is fuel up in the morning, or maybe even the night before. So I always do that the night before. Like at the end of the day, as I'm coming back home, I'll stop at the QT, fuel everything up for the next day, so that I'm hitting the ground running. As soon as I'm out the door, I'm headed to the first job. I don't have to stop for fuel, because you know how, at 7 o'clock in the morning, the QT is full. I mean, there's people everywhere. It wastes a lot of time. Usually in the evening, it's a lot less people there, and it's a lot less busy, and you can get in and out a lot easier. So fuel up at night. Also, not only you need to fuel up your equipment in the afternoon, but in the morning, fuel up your body. Never go out empty, because as soon as later, your tank and your belly is going to be empty. So you got to fuel up. Excuse me. You got to fuel up your body, whether that's with a breakfast, whether that's with a nutritional shake. It's what I like to do. Make sure that you're hydrated before you leave, instead of you figuring it out that you're at your second yard and you're about to die of hunger or you're dying of thirst. The next thing to do is to bring everything that you need with you for the day. Lunch, water, snacks, anything that you need. Take that with you. You'll never know how much time that you waste going through even a fast food drive-through or a Subway or something. Even though that can be quick, it's the time that you've taken away. It's where, you know, standing in line or sitting in traffic or whatever. I always take my lunch, my snacks, my water, anything that I need for that full day, I will take with me in the morning. So I eat my lunch in between those jobs. And even when somebody's with me, I make that up front. Your break is in between these jobs during the day. And if we have 10 yards a day and there's 10 minutes in between each yard, that's an hour break all day, you know, of just sitting in the truck where you can eat your lunch, take a break. If we have to, turn on the AC in the truck and cool down for a minute. That's the key. Take everything with you. The next thing that is a good tip is to keep sharp blades on your mower. I sharpen my blades in the growing season every other day. It's so, well, I would say not every other day, but twice a week. Sometimes more, depending on how tall the grass is. Here in the South, the grass is very, we cut it very short, so we pull up a lot of dirt and debris and almost sandblast our blades, and you'll see that the lower you cut it, that sand and that dirt just whittles away at those blades and really dulls them out fast. You guys in the north, you may not have that issue because you're cutting it a lot higher. But here, we're cutting so low, like 1 inch to 2 inches on this Bermuda and Georgia lawn, that it really dulls blades out pretty quickly. And if you have sharp blades, you eliminate the times if you had to go over the yard twice. You eliminate having to overlap and double cut. So you can really amp up your production by having sharp blades. Next thing is to know is to use Roundup or any type of weed killer. Spray your beds so that you don't have to go through and weed eat the beds, or you know, just have a guy go through there and knock down anything in the beds. Weed eat around obstacles that you can without making a huge ring. You'll know your yards, and you can know where you can spray to eliminate weed eating and trimming, so that you really can make it a mow, blow, and go yard by chemical applications. Another thing that I use along that same lines is I use a chemical called Atromac. Atromac is a growth regulator for shrubbery. Now I use that on not all shrubbery, I use it on the high growth shrubbery, hollies, things like ligustrums, things that literally will grow, you know, a week's time can put on 4 or 5 inches of growth. After the spring growth has come and grown, and you trim that new growth, that new light green spring growth off, spray it down with Atromac at the suggested rate, and then that gives you about 2 or 3 months almost of very, very little shrub trimming, because you and I know both that when you have to do shrubs at an account, that eats up a lot of your time, whether it's the trimming up, the cleaning it, the raking it up, however else that you do it, that can almost double the time on the property. So it is an investment to make that expense of Atromac, because it's not cheap. However, I think that you'll see that it can amp your production time up by not spending the time on the shrubbery. Last and certainly not least is you have to know your yards. You have to know, how do I cut this yard? I have to know in my mind before I get there, how am I going to do this? How is that other person with me going to cut this? Or how did I do that last week? Or what do I need to do? Make a mental note of what I can skip this week, or what I need to do double this week. Not only know your yard, but know your customer and know their expectations for you, because the more that you know what they expect of you, the better that you can serve them and you can make them happy with your service. So I hope those things will help you on amping up your production level and knowing and have the confidence in knowing that you can do 10 to 12 yards a day by yourself if need be, with of course with the right equipment and the right know-how. So that's just another tip here from the Lawn Ranger, and hope you guys are having a good day during this week of April, and y'all keep on cutting. We'll see y'all later.